welcome children to your English literature class. Today I am going to teach you chapter 8 in your literature book, that is Christmas morning. What is Christmas, children? As we all know, Christmas is the religious festival of Christians. What comes into your mind when you hear the word Christmas? There are so many things that comes into our mind when we hear the word Christmas. It is the Christmas tree, the Christmas cake, carol singing, Christmas cards, and Santa Claus. On the Christmas day, we go to the church for the Mass. There are morning Mass and midnight Mass also. We go to our relatives and friends to wish them Merry Christmas. And so many other things we do on the Christmas day. So let us read this chapter. I'm going to read this chapter out to you and explain it to you. As I read it out, children, please pay attention. Listen to me very, very carefully and attentively and see the pronunciation and the pauses and practice the reading at home. So here we start. Although it is a tradition to exchange gifts for Christmas, Mrs. March had told her daughters that there would be no Christmas gifts for them as there was a shortage of money due to the ongoing war. However, she did promise that they would find a book each under their pillows. At first, the girls thought that Christmas would not be Christmas without presents and decided to buy themselves a gift each with their pocket money. Then they changed their minds and decided to each buy a gift for their mother, Mommy. Let's read a story that describes Christmas morning at the March home. So, Mrs. March told her children that there would be no Christmas gifts because of shortage of money due to the war. But she promised them that she would buy them a book as a Christmas gift. So the children thought of buying them a gift, but they later decided that instead of buying themselves a gift, they would buy a gift for their mother. Let's come to the first paragraph now. Joe was the first to wake up in the grey dawn of Christmas morning. What is grey dawn, children? Do you know? Grey dawn is the beginning of the twilight before sunrise. She remembered her mother's promise and, slipping her hand under her pillow, drew out a little crimson-covered book. What is crimson-covered? It's given below the meaning with a crimson deep red colored cover. Crimson means deep red color. She woke Meg with a Merry Christmas and told her to see what was under her pillow. There was a green book with the same picture inside and a few words written by their mother, which made their one present very precious in their eyes. Presently, Beth and Amy also woke up and found their little books, one dove-colored, the other blue, and all sat looking at and talking about them, while the east grew rosy with the morning day. So children, where were the girls? What time of day was it? In the small box down there's a question. So the girls were in their homes and it was, what was the time? It was early morning part of the day. Where is mother? Asked Meg as she and Joe ran down to the kitchen to thank their mother for their gifts half an hour later. Till here, I hope it's clear and you have understood. Now let's turn to page number 108. Some poor person came asking for help, said Huna, and your ma went straight off to see what was needed. Hannah, their housekeeper, had lived with them since Meg was born and was now part of their family. She will be back soon, I think. So fry your cakes and have everything ready, said Meg, looking over the presents which were collected in a basket and kept under the sofa, ready to be presented to their mother at the proper time. Joe was dancing about the room to take the first stiffness off the new slippers that she had got for their mother. Beth had marked a handkerchief for her and picked her a beautiful rose from the garden, and Amy had bought her a little bottle of cologne. So there's a small question on the right side in the box, children. Why was the basket hidden under the sofa? Why was the basket hidden under the sofa? Because they wanted to give their mother a surprise with the Christmas presents which they had all bought for her. So what were the Christmas presents which they had bought for her? It's given. Joe had bought a pair of new slippers. Beth had bought a handkerchief and picked her a beautiful rose from the garden, and Amy had brought her a little bottle of cologne. What is cologne, children? Cologne is a type of perfume. You should know that. There's mother. Hide the basket, quick, cried Joe as the door slammed, followed by footsteps in the hall. They quickly hid the basket under the sofa. Merry Christmas, Mommy. Thank you for our books. We read a few pages and mean to every day, they all said in chorus. Merry Christmas, little daughters. I'm glad you began reading at once and hope you will keep on reading. But I want to say one word before we sit down. Not far from here lives a poor woman, Mrs. Hummel, with a little newborn baby. 6 children are huddled into one bed to keep from freezing, for they have no fire. There is nothing to eat over there, and the oldest boy came to tell me they were hungry and cold. My girls, will you give them your breakfast as a Christmas present? So before I explain you this, children, first see the question in the small box on the right hand side. Which words mean spoke all together? There is a word called said in chorus here, which means spoke all together. She was very happy to receive the presents from her children, and she was very happy that they had already started reading the books which she had presented them as a Christmas gift, and she wanted them to keep on reading the books. And she told them that there's a very poor family, and the name of the lady was Mrs. Hummel, who had 6 children, and they were very hungry and cold. So she wanted her children to go to the family and give their breakfast, that is, sacrifice their breakfast for the poor Hummel family as a Christmas present. They were all unusually hungry, having waited nearly an hour, and for a minute no one spoke. Only a minute, and then Joe exclaimed, I'm so glad you came before we began. Let's take out breakfast there. Let's take our breakfast there. So for a moment they all kept quiet, because after all they were children and they were very hungry. But only after a minute Joe exclaimed that they were very glad and they were ready to sacrifice their breakfast for the poor Hummel family. May I go and help carry the things to the poor little children? Asked Beth eagerly. I shall take the muffins, added Amy heroically, giving up the article she most liked. Meg was already covering the buckwheats and piling the bread into one big plate. I thought you'd do it, said Mrs. March, smiling. You shall all go and help me, and when we come back, we will have bread and milk for breakfast. We'll have a nice dinner to make up for giving up our breakfast.
So the whole family was ready to go to the Hummel family, and they were ready to sacrifice their Christmas breakfast for the poor family. In the next class, I'm going to teach you the rest of the chapter, children. That's all for today. Thank you and have a nice time.